Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com. Today we are talking about market inefficiency here in Venezuela, and we have inefficiencies everywhere here in Venezuela, but the markets work pretty particular here on the country, and not just on the economic side, but also on the social side. So it's a lot to discuss. So let's start. Well, first, let's define what an efficient market is. Is basically when you have, of course, a market and regardless of what you're selling, let's say the spread between the asking price and the bid price is pretty much the same. There's just a very tiny spread. And for instance, you can use the stock market, especially in the United States, that is very liquid. And also the financial assets tend to liquidate on the spot on just a tiny spread. Now you can compare it to the real estate market that I'm talking everywhere on the world that is less efficient because usually the spread between the asking price and the bid price, the spread is higher, is more difficult to liquidate a real estate property compared to a financial asset. So what happens is there is a lot of discrepancy when you put a house or a real estate property on the market, and depending also on the liquidity on any given market, not only regarding nationally, but domestically, locally, and so on and so on. So what happens is that you have these spreads and these discrepancies, and what tends to happen is that on the real estate case, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, let's say a few weeks or a few months, in order to liquidate a real estate property. Now, the markets in Venezuela on everything are very inefficient. Of course, the real estate here, and trust me, I've done a lot of real estate stuff here in Venezuela, is very, 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 very inefficient. But also, I'm talking the stock market is no big deal, so I'm not gonna even mention it. But also, even on the currency and on the FX market here, also we have inefficiencies over there, and also on any given retail and wholesale, there's a lot of inefficiencies over there. You can go to, let's say, 10 stores and find 10 different prices for the same product. Even for meat, and talking beef and poultry and fish and such, we have market inefficiency on that. You can see very different prices of meat on different locations, different supermarkets and butcher stores and such. So it's very funny that in Venezuela, the mindset of the market is getting the maximum spread price on any given product and service. And that happens is because the Venezuelan mindset is getting a lot of ROI, a lot of profit margin on any given transaction. Of course, that happens on every place on the world, but Venezuela is quite different on that. They expect, they demand, and they are not going to be pleased. Actually, until the point that they prefer to even take a loss when there is a lot of time waiting to liquidate a product, a service, an inventory, you name it. So Venezuelans are very stubborn on that regard. They like to sell on the maximum spread price, the maximum profit margin, and they don't take into account that also the time is very crucial on this equation. Because let's say you want to sell on the very premium market price, the premium market price, but it can take you, let's say, 6 months instead of selling on a small profit. on a short period of time and doing it consistently, and most likely that's what millionaires do. They sell a lot on a small profit margin, but they do it consistently and they liquidate fast. So most Venezuelans, they prefer just to sell any product, any service on a very high-end premium price and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And most likely they are gonna lose, either they're gonna lose money or they're gonna lose a bunch of time. And they, at the end, they just settle on a lower price, a lower selling price when it's too late, when we already spent a bunch of time. So they lose money, they lose capital, they lose liquidity, and they lost their time, which is the most valuable asset. And lastly, we are going to talk about the gringo prices. I covered this issue many times on the channel, but we are going to just do a small review. Gringo prices, in case you don't know, is this tendency of Western expats that go to, let's say, third world countries, especially in Latin America, that when they ask, let's say, for a real estate property or go to a restaurant on a touristic area, they are charged a premium price compared to the local population just for the fact they are trying to take advantage of the quote unquote gringo, can be European as well, because they think that since they come from a wealthier nation, this particular individual is also wealthy. Well, what happens is due to the lack of knowledge and experience on the market, sometimes the quote unquote gringo falls on this trap of overpaying for a product or a service. In Venezuela, we don't have actually gringo prices because the market is not catered towards expats and internationals. Already explained that on another video. Is catered towards the high-end Venezuelans, the people who with the most purchasing power. Usually, they are way richer than even the average American or the average Canadian or the average European. So you're not, yes, you're gonna find gringo prices, but they are not for you. They are for the high-end Venezuelan. So until a certain degree, the gringo prices are for ourselves, for other Venezuelans, and not just for real estate or fancy dining. I'm talking even for meat, for dairy, for just household supplies. You can get gringo prices if you don't know what to do. So the main takeaway here is how to navigate these market inefficiencies that we have in Venezuela. Just, of course, know what you're doing, know the market, do the research, and of course, after you put boots on the ground, after a while, you're gonna develop a learning curve, and you are going to find very simple ways to navigate these market inefficiencies and these crazy prices that we have in many cases in Venezuela. Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, venezuelainsider.com. Thanks again and have a nice day.